this is going to be game number 1. But let me just go ahead and, well, I'll double check at the end of this game. I don't want to be disturbing anybody once we hop into game. So, alright guys, let's do this. Welcome guys to King Sejong Station, where we have another TvP for you here at the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose Qualifier. I am JoRoSaR, and let's go ahead and see what these guys have to offer. Spawning in the top left position as the green Terran player, we've already seen one of his series today. And he's up potentially against a much tougher opponent here, and certainly against a much more experienced opponent right now. So let's see what he ends up doing. It's MarineLord. And he's going to be facing off against the blue Protoss player playing for Fnatic in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. One of the most charismatic characters in StarCraft 2. It's Harstem. Hashtag Year of Harstem. So we saw a pretty standard TvP just now, of course featuring Cass, who'd used some pretty good decision-making ability, coupled with, frankly, just some very strong early game aggression with Bio to take a 2-0 victory. Harstem, of course, used to seeing that kind of play. Let's see if he ends up falling for something similar. MarineLord, so far today, we've seen he's being very, very aggressive. It looks like he is going to be starting off in a similar fashion, although note that the barracks is comfortably close to his command center as opposed to quite close to his opponent's nexus. So just a little bit different from that TvT series we saw him in earlier. And, well, not an awful lot going on so far though, but we should be seeing, there we go, the Orbital Command and the first Reaper coming out from MarineLord now. So we'll be able to get the standard scout off. Cybernetics core, not used to wall off any of this part because, to be honest, the minerals and the back of the base actually have quite a large gap on this map, guys. So Harstem using his SimCity to wall off on one side of his mineral line, but not able to make any progress on the other, which is fine on this map. He'll also have to be a little bit wary of drops. There's just an awful lot of space for Terrans to work with here with potential drops. So we'll be keeping an eye out on that. And we've got an engineering bay block here coming down on the natural of Harstem to try and tempt him into a more aggressive build. Here comes the Mothership Core coming out from our Protoss, an additional pylon getting constructed. And, well, here comes the Zealot. Is the SCV going to risk trying to build a little bit more? Harstem's good on his micro though, and even the probe is trying to stop this SCV from getting a word in. And wow, this is pretty darn effective, I have to say. And now we have the Reaper coming in to assist this as well. The engineering bay is actually getting built faster than the Zealot is destroying it right now, but it's not going to quite be enough. The Zealot might end up getting taken down. No, not with the Mothership Core there. So a good defense from Harstem there, and basically gets to put the Nexus down straight away. He's up back to 100 minerals already, so there's no doubt that bumped his build very, very slightly, but not by a significant amount. MarineLord now is going to be getting his natural expansion down. Let's take a look at what his tech is going to be afterwards. We are going straight for the factory, so a little bit contrasting to the build that we saw out of Cass earlier, favoring instead that, some might argue, older school, more barracks approach early on, very, very aggressive against Protoss. MarineLord going for something a bit more conventional here, just teching up, potentially getting that starport quickly. Are we going to see Widow Mine drops? Are we going to see, are we just going to see Marine drops coming out of him here? We'll find out momentarily. In the meantime, Harstem here, he started his Twilight Council. And, well, there's a decent amount of area around the base here to blink in, so I wouldn't be surprised if some sort of play like that is going to be at the forefront of his mind here. And we have got the starport immediately on the way now for MarineLord, continuing to pump out Marines, and we do actually have double Hellion production for him as well. So this is going to be very entertaining indeed. We could see Marine drops with Hellions on the ground supporting. This is pretty useful in situations where the Protoss army is less mobile, because you get situations where the Mothership Core for Harstem will be able to put down Photon Overcharge at the natural expansion. Oh, as the Twilight Council gets comfortably scouted here, and the Reaper unfortunately has nowhere to run. But Imagine a Photon Overcharge gets put down here with the drop coming in and the Hellions just running up the ramp here. You then end up with a situation where Photon Overcharge doesn't feature as part of that fight. So perhaps that's something MarineLord is looking off for here. He's got loads and loads of Hellions on the way, still continuing to produce them 2 at a time. Here comes the first medevac, and a tech lab is now getting put onto the barracks. All the Marines go up in this medevac. Are we going to see the Hellions move out as well? We are. So it looks like that's exactly what the Terran player has planned here. In the meantime, back in JoRoSaR, we've got a couple more gateways coming down, and the robotics facility for potential observers. And he's got some stalkers at the top of his ramp so that he can see this coming, but so far the medevac is completely unscouted, and he knows he's going to be able to drop very close to the Twilight Council. Is he going to try and pick off that pylon? By the looks of things, he is. Harstem moving up now, and here come the Hellions. Oh, he smelled a rat. He knew exactly what was going on here. Where's the Photon Overcharge going down? It's going down inside the main base, and actually now all the Hellions are kind of trapped at the top of this ramp. He wanted to be able to attack the workers at the natural expansion during this. He wasn't able to, and MarineLord's going to have to move out with that drop. A cool pincer movement there from Harstem. Perhaps a little bit quick from MarineLord with sending the Hellions in. Because once the units came up the ramp, of course, he can attempt to roast some drones. Number of workers killed this game, guys. Only 1 from MarineLord so far. An excellent hold there from Harstem. He's just scudding around to see exactly where these units are in case they're coming in for a second pass. And we can see Harstem very quickly after that taking his 3rd Nexus. Now, MarineLord's going to immediately spot this and come back with the medevac. Is he going to be dropping behind the minerals here to try and force a cancel? No, he's going straight into the main for more shenanigans. He will also, of course, be able to scout that this robotics facility is here and know that Harstem is going straight up to that Colossus tech. And here we go. Units inside the mineral line. Excellent blink there, though, from Harstem. Forces the medevac away. And once again, this attack does not do very much damage. We've gone up to 3 workers killed this game. But worker count is 45 to 46, and Harstem has got his 3rd base about 2/3 of the way done. Mind you, MarineLord has also started his 3rd command center, but a little bit later here, and Harstem has done very well at making sure the harassment hasn't taken much damage. MarineLord, in the meantime, has lost, I'd say, about half of the forces he originally committed here, and his window for being able to do any sort of aggressive damage towards Harstem, to be honest, is quite low. He's going to try once more. I wonder if he's going to actually drop here. This might end up being a good idea, or forcing a Photon Overcharge. We'll wait and see. Here comes a Marine tank force from MarineLord out into the middle of the map. And those initial stalkers from Harstem are not going to be able to contest this. He's got no Colossi to speak of just yet, and we're also still waiting for the extended thermal lance. Only a 1/3 of the way complete, so this could end up being pretty annoying here. That Colossus is not going to have that advanced range, and in the meantime we have these siege tanks already hailing down there on that assimilator. And their range, well, this Photon Overcharge isn't going to be able to attack them, but the Mothership Core certainly is, and Harstem actually microing this like a boss right now, forcing the siege tanks slightly further back. We need a couple more units, and ideally waiting for extended thermal lance to complete before this happens, though, and Harstem moves a single stalker and then blinks back just to gauge the size of the forces he has to deal with here for MarineLord. He's at 100 supply to Harstem's 97. There is, oh, very, very nice move there. Drawing the siege tank file with a hallucinated immortal, and that might be enough to break out. He's not even waiting for extended thermal lance. He's saying my Colossi should be able to safely get in range, and he is right about that. Even with the completely full up bunker, the losses for Harstem aren't actually that great in this situation, and the entirety of MarineLord's army that stayed there have now died. He managed to get back with the medevac and a decent percentage of his forces, though, so he will have stuff to defend this, and he is making 2 Vikings at a time now as well. So that means that once this army gets there, he has to be very, very careful about getting these Colossi picked off very early on in the battle, and to be honest, I can't see Harstem breaking through right now. He should be able, though, to use this as an opportunity to just get his saturation up on his 3rd base as well. He's also going to be able to hopefully catch up in upgrades. I wonder if we're going to see additional upgrades come down from him. At the moment, he's 1 upgrade behind. Terran is +1 on the infantry. Harstem will have a +1 armor in just a second, but +1 armor also on the way for MarineLord. So neither side really going crazy with upgrades right now, and the Templar Archives back home has just started for a Fnatic player. So, 3rd base is mining for both sides now. It looks like we're transitioning in. Finally, Concussive Shell getting done for MarineLord. Normally we see that a little bit earlier. And yeah, at the moment, we've got map control firmly in our Protoss's favor. Not because there are observers everywhere, or anything like that, but because he's got a fantastic high ground position here. MarineLord now moving out, sees this army, and has to be questioning whether he can take it. He does a scan to see what the size of this is, spots that there are 3 Colossi within, he goes, actually, I don't really want to be engaging that with only this bio army. But he's got 7 Vikings and counting, he's continuing to make 2 at a time. The armory is on the way as well, so potential for upgrades on those, and the second engineering bay is about to complete. So MarineLord really gearing up, basically. Wow, that's a lot of SCVs here. I'm not sure he needs that to defend this. Harstem's not doing an all-in push or anything like that right now. I mean, you know, because of the third base that he has down. So MarineLord should be able to get back to mining with those SCVs and continuing trying to make sure his army is as tip-top as possible. While all this is happening, though, Harstem, of course, is getting higher up as far as his tech tree is concerned. We have Psionic Storm, 2/3 of the way done now. He's getting +2 armor, so that his Zealots will be able to withstand a lot more attacks when they buffer as the front line of his army. And 5 more gateways incoming for him as well. You've got the second Forge, and admittedly he's going to be going for those double upgrades slightly later than our Terran player, who's got +2/+2 on the way now as well, in addition to that +1 vehicle weapons. But this is a decent position, actually, for him to be in. Harstem's been able to go up to 3 bases and effectively tech at will. He's also got this Warp Prism here, by the way, guys, chilling out over in the bottom left-hand corner of the map now, but has the potential, of course, to do so much damage against MarineLord if left unchecked. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. MarineLord, in the meantime, though, he's looking to try and do a little bit of counter-aggression. We have Photon Overcharge here at the natural expansion. A massive stim in, actually, from those front Marauders, picking off a couple of Stalkers for free, but MarineLord deciding against it right now. And this Warp Prism is shortly, with 4 Zealots, going to be hopping into what I suspect will be the main base of MarineLord. So he'll have a little bit of defending to do on his own. The army supply now, 106 to 121 in the Terran player's favor, but look at how much DPS we've got here. We've got a lot of area of effect damage here by the High Templars and the Colossus. We do have a Ghost Academy down now, and the first 5 Ghosts, admittedly, are coming out from MarineLord. So this is basically going to equal out and see who can end up macroing better and keeping their newer bases better. There's going to be a big fight at some point, but both sides are kind of squaring off, waiting to see when the most opportune moment for that to happen is. And oh wow, if these ghosts get picked off by the Zealots, that's going to be pretty useful for him indeed. But it looks like running through the natural should just about be enough here. And this Warp Prism at the moment doing some damage, but not an incredible amount. He's trying to pick off a single engineering bay right now. Also spots the Ghost Academy, and that's actually quite a lot of Vikings that MarineLord has. He's going up to 12 Vikings. How many Colossi do we have out on the field? We have 5 Colossi and 12 Vikings. So that should just about be okay. I don't think there's any massive cause for concern there. We'll see if he ends up building them, though. More of them, that is. And the SCVs, with that repair function, of course, able to save the engineering bay until the army gets here. So a single Zealot just left there, and we've got a Zealot run by coming in towards the 3rd base location. There are 2 more command centers building right now. I don't think that's going to make a massive difference if these Zealots are able to pick off those SCVs. But MarineLord, once again, he's moving out into the center of the map with his army here. He's also started 3-3, so he's basically ahead 2 upgrades. 3 if you technically count the +1 vehicle weapons, but we'll go with 2 right now on his Protoss opponent, which makes his army very scary indeed. These Zealots have been relatively cost efficient. 11 to 5 workers killed so far this game, and Harstem has not had to defend against this incoming attack from MarineLord just yet. And well, we have a 4th base also being taken towards the middle of the map now from Harstem, saying, hey mate, if you want to stop me from taking it, you're going to have to come and get it. I'm not sure what MarineLord's going to be doing about that, but has he actually seen that 4th base go down? Yes, he has, but he's opting to go into the natural expansion instead. Oh, is he able to snipe off this Nexus? No, the army's going to be able to get here in time. A great couple of storms here to zone out the army, and Harstem saying, mate, you really don't want to be messing around with this right now. But look at the damage done on those Vikings. Those Vikings want to try and pick up as many Colossi as possible. They're all on yellow health already. And a single Viking, well, sorry, a single Colossus is going to go down. A second one, by the looks of things, is going to go down as well. And all of a sudden, the Photon Overcharge helping out a lot in this fight. A lot of lasers going down. Actually, the Concave is pretty good for MarineLord right now. Has to be very careful. An excellent Psionic Storm, though, should just about force the army back. The hatchery? The Nexus is still alive. And a lot of this army is on very low health. 139 to 148 supply. I would have to give that fight to Harstem right there, using that AoE really well. The Vikings, well, didn't kill anywhere close to all of the Colossi. There are still 4 of them left on the field, and he still has the option to use Psionic Storm. He's moving out to the 4th in case our Terran player decides to change tack. But in the meantime, we have a counterattack going on in the natural expansion. Looks like a big warp in, killing off a couple of workers, a little bit of army. And it's 15-8 as far as workers killed are concerned. 67-55 in total for this game so far. And we have another massive engagement here around the 4th base location, where it looks like MarineLord is not going to be able to put down this command center. But wait, here come additional Vikings and more bio as well. Great zoning out with the Psionic Storm, actually. But I think MarineLord is going to be able to move all the way to the top of this ramp, and that means he's going to be able to successfully grab this space with his command center. So both sides have 4 bases right now. We have another little bit of Stalker harassment. Good blink out. They're preventing damage being taken by the Stalkers from the Marauders. And they're going to be joined by 3 Zealots. Ooh. And it looks like those Zealots, well, they're not going to see very much more light of day by the looks of things. They're going to be moving into the natural, but Marauders are going to say absolutely not to this kind of attack here. You should be able to successfully hold this off. Oh, all the Zealots still alive, surprisingly, until they get to very low health, but that shouldn't be a major issue in this game. Terran 3-3 has now finished, guys. He is still two ahead as far as upgrades is concerned. The Protoss army is currently 3-1, but that's a lot of DPS. If those Colossi get wind of those SCVs, man, that's a lot of workers that could go down. Psionic Storm on one half of the Planetary Fortress. Really, he needs them on the other half, though, if he wants to pick off these workers effectively. And now we have MarineLord pushing forward. He knows he has to defend this location at all costs. One more Psionic Storm this time to try and zone out as much of the army as possible, and it looks like he will succeed in doing that. Behind this, Harstem is taking his 5th base. And I really like this decision from him. He just needs to keep the Terran player occupied and out macro him at this point, because he's saying, look, you might be ahead a little bit as far as upgrades go, but the only person ever moving out on the map now seems like it's me after your first couple of push-out attempts. So Harstem's feeling pretty comfortable right now. He hasn't won the game by any means, but he's certainly in a position where he doesn't feel like this game's about to slip away from him. And this bunker might get repaired, or might not. So there we go, managing to take that out. At least another small little skirmish at the Planetary Fortress. Harstem really eager to try and get this taken out. Maneuvering a lot with those Blink Stalkers, but there are a lot of Vikings once again on the field. And, well, there are 6 Colossi as well. I'm not sure there are enough Blink Stalkers to match. A massive Zealot Warp in once again at the natural expansion. Is he going to try and pick up out the orbital command here? He's actually killing off SCVs at the moment and doing a decent job of it. Will he be able to kill much of this army, though? A couple Marauders will go down, but by the looks of things, this should just about get cleaned up thanks to Stim, and if any medevacs decide to pop back as well. As far as major engagements are concerned, Harstem is not using that as a distraction to move his main army into the 4th. He's just going to be chilling out right now because he knows his 5th is up and mining and completely fine. He's up to 70 workers versus the 44 of MarineLord. I think that's really a big tell here. That MarineLord hasn't been reproducing SCVs, actually, after these battles. And I think that's something that might end up being a bit of a mistake, because his economy right now is flagging a bit. Harstem's actually moving into Tempest production, so he's going to be able to start sniping at some of the key units of that army, such as the medevacs, from afar as well, and try and force MarineLord into a big engagement that he basically doesn't want to have to take right now. It also means he can pick things off without being in range of EMP for the Ghost, which is incredibly frustrating for a Terran player. And, well, why not have a bit of revelation on top of that to spot exactly where the army's going? So Harstem feels like he's got all the cards right now. Here come the 3 Tempests just to let him know it's there. And it looks like MarineLord might be tempted into an engagement here. Good initial Psionic Storm. He's going to need a couple more on the ramp, though. And, well, the Tempest continuing to target down and managing to take out one of the Vikings there. And realistically, MarineLord can attack into this. The positioning is just too good. He has to tempt Harstem out and fight in a much more favorable position. Is he going to be able to do that? Stimming out, and oh my god, that storm was disgusting. GG. That army took way too much damage, and MarineLord is not confident, being 30 supply down, that he would be able to take this fight. Harstem, ladies and gentlemen, wins this game.